You know, one day I'm going to decide to actually look nice in one of these videos that I do, but today is not that day. Um, Also, I'm saying also like I just did a whole 4-minute intro. Sorry if you hear the fan in the background. It is very hot, and I'm not going to turn it off to make this dumb video. So just hope that it doesn't completely like erase any sound at all. Like that would suck. Um, so I saw this yesterday. Like I get emails from Reddit, and I mean to turn them off, but I get emails from fatlogic, even though I don't like follow the page or anything. But I just was like reading it a little bit, and I saw this, and I was like, first I saw the caption, and I was like, I don't really know what the person who posted this is going on about. But then I saw the actual post, and I didn't read all of it because I wanted to do this video, and also I just got distracted. You know how being on the phone goes. But yeah, I'm gonna read all of this, and I'm just gonna share my my very heavy thoughts. As a fat person, I relate and feel so much for autistic people. There's a lot of similarities between fat and autistic experiences. Huh. Research goes into how to prevent people from ever being like you and how to make everyone who is already like you normal. So much misinformation about it. Literally just another aspect of human diversity, but treated like a disease. People will do anything not to be like you, including resorting to death, refusing vaccines / starvation. Oh, so now I get what they're saying. Um, Having to fight stigma and oppression every day. Ableism, anti-autism ideology is ableism, and fat phobia mixes a lot with ableism. The world is inaccessible to us, infantilized. There is a focus on fixing children with autism and fixing childhood obesity. Never seen ourselves represented in the media ever. Treated as worthless than neurotypical thin people. Okay. It's supposed to be reasonable responses to fat logic. I'm gonna stop titling this, I think, because it's like I hate this. This is not reasonable. I hate this so much. It's funny because fat people compare themselves to black people. I don't like that, obviously. But as a black person, I'm just like, I don't care at this point. I'm like, whatever. I don't have autism, and I can't speak for autistic people, but I have somebody in my life who has autism, somebody very close in my life. And I would never, ever say that my experience with being overweight is comparable to their experience with autism. Having autism is a disorder, a mental disorder that cannot be fixed, it cannot be changed. I did not eat well, and I didn't exercise. I got to this state. Well, I feel sympathy for people who are overweight. Obviously, it's not the easiest to lose weight, and I will never say that it is, and I'll never say that fat people are completely worthless. And obviously, because I'm a fat person, and that they deserve all the hate, they deserve all the shame. No, fat people do not deserve shame. They don't deserve hate. They don't deserve being disrespected. They don't deserve feeling less than or feeling unworthy. And I will always say that, always. But when we go from me saying that to people going to this extreme and comparing being overweight, which is something that can be changed, I don't care how hard it is, it can be changed, to being autistic, which is just a part of a human being that cannot be changed. That is where we've crossed the line. I know, obviously they've done this in the past with black people, and like I said, I don't know why I'm not affected as much by that. To me, I'm just like, whatever. Like, I know I've said like I could be offended. I think I even said I am, but I'm not offended. I don't care. I've learned I'm not gonna be offended when people say stuff like that about black people. It's like I have better things to do in my life, but I don't like that. That really disappoints me that somebody would say that. Like, just this first sentence I read before I made this video, I was just like, what? And I know, okay, this person's just trying to compare experiences, and the thing is, I hate it because it's like they're trying to rope in like I said in another video, all the the ways that people can be different and how it's affected, like race, being transgender, you know, and now it's like being autistic. It's like, what? How could we do that? How could you compare that? And now I'm going to go to each of these points case by case and tell this person why I disagree with them. But I just wanted to get, like, say overall, like I don't like that how this person is comparing two completely vastly different things. And I'm not saying that things can't be compared and be vastly different. I compare things all the time, but I come with, I compare things and I say, obviously I can never, if I'm comparing an experience with a person and their experience is way worse, just factually, it just is. I know we shouldn't compare, blah, 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 12 inches drowning, 3 inches drowning, whatever, 3 feet, whatever. But no, sometimes people's situations are just worse, okay? That doesn't mean you should spend all your time thinking about it. No, but I'm just saying, if I do that, I say, well, obviously your situation's worse, but I'm just trying to, bring light to what I'm going through. And I guess that's what you could say that this person is doing. It's just they're going in depth with like awful, debilitating things that happen to people who have autism and how it's comparable to the things happen to people with fat people. Obviously, I'm not going to get it wrong. Awful things happen to fat people. Fat people are treated very badly. And I'm not going to say that isn't true. But it is not comparable to being autistic. It's who that person is. And I'm not saying that's all they are is that label. I'm just saying that they can't change that. And if that person can change being fat, if they don't like all these problems that come with being fat, which I don't like, they can change it. I'm not saying they should or they have to. For their health, I think they should. But if they don't want to, they don't want to. For an autistic person, they can't just be like, I don't want to be autistic anymore. I'm not autistic anymore. I mean, they can lie to themselves and delude themselves and say that they're not, but they always will be. And it's always going to be a part of them. Fatness is something I can leave behind, and I'm glad to. Okay, let's just go. Let's do this. Okay. As a fat, I'm so heated right now. Okay, I gotta read. Okay, so as a fat person, I relate and feel so much for autistic people. There's a lot of similarities between fat and autistic experiences. No. Research goes into how to prevent people from ever being like you and how to make everyone who is already like you normal. Okay. So it is true. Research does go into how to prevent people from being autistic. I mean, obviously, I can't name any studies. I don't freaking know. I just know it happens for sure. And there is research that goes into preventing people from not being fat and, because, oh, it looks bad. Research goes into that to prevent people from dying. Nobody dies. Okay, I shouldn't say nobody, but people don't die from autism. There is no autism-related deaths. And I'm saying that because I don't know all the science. I don't know everything. But a majority of people who have autism don't die from it. And if they do die from it, I feel like it's because of another symptom. Like if they have seizures or other things like that. I don't know all of the information behind that. But I'm just saying that even if somebody does die from autism, they didn't put that on themselves. You know what I'm saying? A fat person put that fat on themselves. I know they probably had depression, something they can't help. They had a baby, they broke their leg, whatever. Doesn't matter. It does matter in, the grand scheme of things, but in this case, in this argument, it doesn't matter how that person gained the weight. They did it. They ate the food. They didn't move. It happened. They made the choice. The little small habits, they made the choice overall, and I made this choice. I know I was a kid, and I was young, and I didn't control everything I was eating, but at the end of the day, I made the choice to maintain that weight that I had from when I was a child. I did it. I made it. Does it suck? I did. Am I an awful person for making it? No, I'm not. But it's not the same as someone who's autistic. It's not the same as the person who's close to me, them being autistic. They didn't choose that. And it's like I've seen all the struggles that they've been through in their life. And it hurts me. And it's like for someone to say this shit, like, oh, this whole video, I just want to make it about this. Like how far this has gone. Like I feel like even the fat people on TikTok would say that this is going too far. Like they have to. this is crazy. To me, it's crazy. And I want to be rational and say, like, you know, give them the benefit of the doubt, you know, devil's advocate. I do all that crap, you know, because it's just who I am. I'm skeptical. I'm open-minded. I feel I am, you know, but it's really hard for me. You know, it's like, does this person even know anybody who's autistic? And if they do, does somebody who's autistic really support this? And I'm not saying if somebody who's autistic supports it, that means it's right, because one autistic person doesn't speak for everybody, just like one fat person doesn't speak for every fat person, you know? But as somebody who's on the end that is fat, I don't agree with this, you know? Obviously, like, come on, like, this is ridiculous. I don't care if I was 600 pounds, bro. I would never agree with shit like this. Like, get out of here. Okay. Yes, it can be compared that research goes into both things. There's a lot of research that goes into everything. Like, what point is this? You compare that to anything. And the thing is, the reason that research is going into trying to make people less fat isn't because of beauty, you know, and obviously there are, you know, supported industries that are trying to remove fat, like chin removals and liposuction and all that crap. I'm not saying it doesn't exist, but when research is going into it, it's usually going into how to prevent obesity, which is something that has a lot of death-related diseases with it, heart disease, you know, diabetes, you know, high blood pressure, like high blood sugar, all these awful things that happen to people, you know, because they're overweight and they're fat and they're obese. Like I said, like, I don't know everything. I don't know all the facts. But when you have autism, you know, usually there's not anything death related with that. And if it is, it doesn't matter, because the person who has autism didn't put that on themselves. They didn't inject themselves with autism. And obviously I didn't inject myself with fatness, but I became fat. The person close to me didn't become autistic. They were autistic and they always have been. So much misinformation about it. I don't know. I think I'm bad. I know I'm bad at spelling, but they didn't even spell misinformation right. So that just, I feel like they didn't. I want to check so bad, but I'm not going to. If they did, then okay, I'm stupid. Okay. There is a lot of misinformation about autism, obviously. You know, like, there's so many bad things out there, and the misinformation about autism is very damaging, and the misinformation about fatness is very damaging when it comes to how, like, people think, oh, if I you know, starve myself, I'll be skinny and I'll be healthy. You know, obviously, no, you won't. And there's a lot of misinformation about losing weight and weight loss and all this. I'm not going to pretend like it doesn't exist, but it's not comparable to how debilitating it is, you know, for an autistic person to live with people around them, neurotypical people, including myself, who don't understand their experience and don't even try to. They have to adapt to a world that they weren't built for. Like, that wasn't built for them. And I know with fat people, oh, I go to a store and it's size, like, they don't have size 22. And I'm sorry if I'm being mean, but I don't care. Like, I'm mad at this person, you know, I'm mad at people like this, who think that having a neurological disorder is comparable to eating yourself to a bigger weight. Okay, let's keep going. I think I'm gonna, Alexa, light on. I want you guys to see me a little better. Oh, I unplugged Alexa. I forgot. Whatever. Doesn't matter. Okay. Literally just another aspect of human diversity, but treated like a disease. No, no. Okay. Being overweight. Okay. Okay. Humans do come in all different. I'm trying to be so rational about this. Humans do come in all different shapes and sizes. Some humans are tall. Okay, I'm not going to be patronizing. Some people are small, some people are short, obviously. Some people have longer legs, like different things. You know, there's little people, you know, there's really tall people, there's people who are average, there's all kinds of different heights and stuff. And there are different weights. You know, the way that people get to that weight, majority, is the same. They all ate themselves there. And by saying ate themselves, I really don't want people to think that, oh, every fat person just ate a bunch of fast food and gained weight. You know, some people just ate too many portions. And by saying ate themselves, I'm not trying to be mean or whatever. It's just the truth. It's just the truth, you know? People who got tall grew there, you know? They didn't grow themselves there. It just happened, you know? But I'm just saying, like, it's just a saying, you know? I'm not trying to be mean. I'm fat, I ate myself here. It's just the truth. If you can't face it, then you're a little sensitive. That's coming from a sensitive person. I'm literally about crying over this stupid post on fatlogic, you know, almost crying, but not. So yes, being overweight is a part of human diversity. If we were going to say it like that, it just is. But being obese, the reason that it's treated like a disease is because of the diseases that it brings on, the ones that I said earlier, and how unhealthy it is. It has very bad side effects. This person probably doesn't believe in that crap, but being obese has a lot of bad side effects. And I'm not saying that being autistic doesn't have, symptoms that are bad. It does. And one of the main ones is how they're living in a world that isn't built for them, and how they don't have a neurotypical brain. Different interactions, the way that they live, the way they go about life, every single little thing that happens with autistic people. Like, you've seen that show Love on the Spectrum. It's hard for them to find love. And it's not just because of the way that they look, it's because it's how they act. And me saying that, I'm not saying that they should change how they act. That's the kind of thing I don't like about the show, is I feel like they're taught to be normal. And it's like, I don't really like that. They should just find other people who, are like them and embrace them. I'm not saying, it's just kind of wrong to me. Anyways, what I'm trying to say is that when you're autistic, a lot of your life is affected. People see you differently. I've heard from different family members in my life talking about the family member that I have who has autism in a very bad way. Not very bad, I shouldn't say that, because they might watch and I don't want them to get too upset, but it's just like, sorry, alarm. It's just like, because they're autistic, they're this, they're that, they're this, or they're that, and it's just like, stop. And I don't mean to get so personal about this. It's just like, this just really struck a nerve with me. And I don't mean to be veering off, I do that anyway, but people will do anything not to be like you, including resorting to death, refusing vaccines, starvation. So this in the little parentheses, they're trying to give examples, little sources. And it's true, people will do anything not to be fat. A lot of people will, and it's dangerous. That's unhealthy, and that is something that is put out there a lot, that it is unhealthy and damaging to starve yourself. It's not good for you, and a lot of people know that. It's not unknown. It's not uncommon. The people who don't know that are teenage girls, or and even people who I feel like who have anorexia know it's bad for them. And believe me, they know it's bad for them, but something in their mind just can't stop them, and they need to get help. So overall, it's not highly supported that we do this, like have anorexia and starve ourselves and do all these awful things. It is supported that there are some fad diets, but I feel like even that is just being like, it's being brought down and exposed for how awful it really is, and yeah, people do refuse vaccines, because of autism. I find that ridiculous and stupid and dumb. Like, I remember I watched a documentary about it, just made me roll my eyes. And it's like, people still believe that crap. Like, even people who are in my life believe that. It's just like really messed up. But it's just not comparable. It's really not. It's not. Having to fight stigma and oppression every day. I'm sorry. It's just like, I can't, like, it's hard for me to really trust this. Like, yes, fat people are disrespected, and yes, skinny people are treated better. They are. But like I said earlier, when you have autism, you cannot change that. You're aware of the situation. It's human nature that people are going to treat, fat people worse and skinny people better. It's just true, because fat people are seen as more unappealing. And it's just like, when humans see something they find more attractive, it's just like pretty privilege as well. It's like, even if I was skinny, I know I'm not going to be the most attractive girl in the world. I'm not. And people who are pretty are always going to be treated better than me. It's just a fact. It's just the truth. And I feel like me accepting that, I have a way easier time accepting that than I feel like if I was autistic. And I do accept that I'll never be normal and that the world will always be different for me and hard for me, I can't just get up one day and be like, I'm gonna eat healthy and then I'll be changed. No, I won't. If I have autism, like it's never gonna be changed, except, you know, if they mask or if they act normal. It's like they shouldn't have to do that, you know? And I guess fat people are like, oh, they shouldn't have to lose weight. But it's like, it's for your health as well. Oh my God, okay. Fat phobia mixes in a lot with ableism. Yeah, definitely, for sure. For sure, yeah. Being discriminated against for a literal disability or disorder that you cannot change is the same as being fat shamed. And I don't like being fat shamed. I don't like it. I don't agree with it. It sucks. It's been scientifically proven to be wrong. I'm not saying that these things are good, but they're not comparable to these other things like ableism. That's such a huge thing. It's not comparable to racism. And I'm using my hands a lot. I don't care. Okay, I don't care. It's just it's not. And I don't like to say it's just not. I feel like I've gone through this a billion times. You know, you can change being fat. You can change it. I can't change this. The person in my life who has autism cannot change this. It can't be changed. And that's the biggest deal. It's the biggest deal. It's out there. It's the biggest deal. But they don't believe that. They believe it can't be changed. Autism doesn't fluctuate. Race doesn't fluctuate. It stays the same. I'll always be Black. That person in my life will always have autism. They're focusing on fixing children with autism. They are. And focusing on fixing childhood obesity. Why are we doing quotes around that? Childhood obesity exists. And it's an awful, debilitating thing that parents are plumping up their children because they're just being neglectful and not caring, or they're just misinformed by industries that are paid to make sure that the kids keep eating bad food. Like literally cafeterias are considering saying pizza is a vegetable or tomato sauce because it's tomatoes or fries. It's not. And the thing is that I didn't have obesity when I was a child, but I was overweight. I did it in my body video, but if you didn't watch that, I was overweight from the age of like 10 or 11 and on. And it's like, you know, I don't want to say that my mom was neglectful and whatever. She worked a lot, and it was up to me to eat, and I ate bad. I did, and I made that choice. I don't like it, but I'm never, it's never going to be the same as some like autism. It's never see ourselves represented in media ever. Never and ever. You had to use both words. I doubt that. I see a lot of fat people and obese people and things. Way before I ever see any autistic people and things. And the thing is, yes, there are fat people in media, and they're often used as a joke, or they're used as like either the butt of the joke or they're never in a relationship, all those things. And I agree with that. Just the same thing with, you know, how it used to be with Black people in the past and other races. And, you know, but with autism, it's like, and disorders and disabilities, those are like some of the lowest represented things, you know? So it's like, treated as worthless than neurotypical and thin people. It's not even that autism, people who have autism are treated as worse. And they are, you know, but they live in a world where even if somebody doesn't even have to know they have autism, people will just see that they're different, you know, because they can't, it's hard for them to adapt into a neurotypical society. People will see that they're different and just treat them awfully. I've seen it in many cases in school. It's awful, and it's really debilitating. Like, no one will even really know that, you know, somebody has autism, but you'll just be able to like tell that there's something going on with them. And it's like, ooh, that person's weird, or they're whatever, you know. And it's like, I get people get bullied for being fat, and that's awful as well. And any child being bullied for anything is awful. But it's just like, you know, the child gets bullied for being fat and then has a growth spurt. Like, oh, look, they're not bullied anymore. When you have autism, it'll always be with you. It'll always stick with you. You know, or you just mask better. You know, you just cover yourself better. You know, but it's not that easy. It's not. And I'm done. that's it for the video today, guys, because I'm done with this. I'm angry. I don't even want to look at any of this other shit. I'm done with these people. And it's getting darker, so I'm gonna go. But thanks for watching, and I'm sorry that you had to read this awful post with me. So.